Black clouds gathered like an army. Winds slammed the ship sideways, ripping ropes from sailors' hands. Lightning carved open the sky, brief, violent glimpses of terror. "Throw the cargo overboard," the captain shouted, thinking it was the cargo on board that caused this. "The sea wants blood tonight." But no matter how the crew fought, the storm only grew fiercer. Below deck, in the dim belly of the ship, a lone man slept, calm, unmoving, as if the chaos above belonged to another world. The captain stormed down the stairs, grabbed him by the shoulders. "Wake up! Pray to your God, whoever he is. Maybe he'll spare us." Jonah opened his eyes. He knew instantly. This is the story of Jonah. Jonah stood alone on a quiet hillside in Israel. Golden fields swayed in the late-day sun. The air hung still and warm. It should have been a peaceful moment. But then came the voice. "Jonah, son of Amittai," it whispered. "Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, a massive and powerful Assyrian capital. Proclaim impending judgment and cry against it. Their wickedness has come up before me." Jonah felt his throat tighten. Jonah wanted no part of this. He fled west, heart pounding until he reached the port of Joppa. Ships creaked and bobbed in the evening waves. "Tarshish?" Jonah asked a shipmaster. "Does this vessel go to Tarshish?" "Aye," the sailor said, "as far from here as a man can sail." "Good," Jonah whispered. "Very good." He paid the fare with trembling hands and boarded the ship, his escape sealed with the clack of the gangplank lifting. But the sea watches all, and so does God. We didn't know his name at first, just another traveler heading west. Head, bow low, eyes not visible for a man with nothing to hide. He paid well, didn't speak much, sat alone. But then the wind shifted, and the sea rose like a waking beast. We've seen storms, all sailors have, but this felt personal. Waves rose, as if they had hands. The sky roared like it knew us by name. We tossed cargo, cried out to our gods, fought ropes that snapped back like whips. Finally, we cast lots, an old tradition, usually meaningless. Not this time. The lot landed in the lap of the quiet man. "Who are you?" we shouted over the wind. He looked up with the heaviness of someone being hunted. "A Hebrew," he said, "and I serve the God who made this sea." The sea growled, as if in agreement. "The God who made the sea? Then why is he trying to kill us?" "Because I am running from him." A silence heavier than thunder fell over the deck. "What must we do to you to calm the sea?" the captain whispered. "You must throw me overboard," Jonah said, voice steady now. "The storm is because of me." They hesitated, but the waves rose higher, screaming for Jonah. "Forgive us," the sailors cried, as they hurled him into the raging deep. Instantly, the sea went still. We all knew what we had witnessed. Not a storm, a summons. Instead of drowning, Jonah is swallowed by a massive sea creature, plunging him into darkness. For 3 days and nights, he wrestles with despair, guilt, and the unescapable presence of God. Inside the creature's belly, time collapsed. He felt the crush of the deep, the stench of decay, the suffocating dark. Seaweed wrapped around his face like fingers. In the belly of the deep, Jonah finally prays. "God," he whispered into the black darkness of the belly of the whale. "I ran. I disobeyed. But if you hear me in this pit, bring me up. I will go where you send me." God commands the creature to release him. It vomited Jonah onto a sunlit shore, gasping, soaked, alive. Jonah walked into Nineveh with shaking legs. The city's colossal walls towered above him, carved with scenes of conquest and cruelty. Spears, chains, fires. The people stared at the strange pale man who smelled faintly of the sea. Jonah raised his voice, feeling it echo against stone battlements. 40 days more, he called, and Nineveh will be overthrown. He expected mockery, arrest, maybe death. Instead, fear rippled through the crowds. Mothers clutched their children, merchants abandoned their stalls, soldiers lowered their weapons. Word spread like fire until it reached the king himself. And the king, draped in silk and gold, rose from his throne, tore his garments, and fell to his knees. "Let every person," he decreed, "cry mightily to God. Turn from violence. Perhaps he will spare us." Jonah watched in disbelief as the entire city, tens of thousands, fell into repentance. God saw and relented. Jonah sat outside the city on a dusty hillside, furious. "I knew you'd do this," he snapped at heaven. "I fled because I knew you were merciful. I knew you'd forgive them." A vine grew above him overnight, shading him from the heat. Jonah sighed in relief. But the next morning, God sent a worm that withered the vine. Then, a scorching wind that burned Jonah's skin. He erupted in anger. "Kill me now. Better to die than live in a world where my enemies survive." And then, quietly, painfully, the voice spoke again. "Jonah, you pity a plant that lived one day and died the next. Should I not pity Nineveh, where more than 120,000 souls wander in darkness?" Jonah had no answer, just a long, slow breath. I remembered him, still the man who ran, the man who drowned, the man who rose again on the sand. Winds whisper his name. Winds echo his story. Because Jonah was not the only one who was swallowed. An entire city was swallowed by mercy, and mercy once given does not let go.